Hello and welcome back to Hand of Fate 2. Unfortunately, we cannot pick up where we left off. I went to go load the file to check to see where I was today, and yeah, basically all I have is the character here. So I will start a new game. I checked there's more additional content. Like you can actually have the dealer as a companion now once you get past a certain part. Here we go. Endless shattered memories. So, start a new game.
Your memories are fading even now, gone to form the soul of the game we play. These pieces are new, as are the stakes. Life, death, and vengeance. We must ride, for time is short, and you have much to learn. Make your first choice, and let us set these wheels in motion once more.
Let's go with Nathan.
These cards represent your history and our game. We know where they end, for you are here. Therefore, these cards must guide you to my side. Let us see what the journey holds. The fool steps into nothingness, because they know no better. In the same way, you must step into the void. You are a blank slate, and together we will write your history.
You stumbled many miles through the forest in search of the thieves who robbed you. Though exhausted and hungry, you are determined to reclaim your father's amulet. Finally catch sight of the thieves hacking a large tree and arguing amongst themselves. Move closer to eavesdrop.
Every element of the game has been improved, even those that seem at first glance familiar. Do not worry, you will soon understand the nuances.
Creeping forward, you overhear their leader shouting orders. In simple, he says, "Let's walk down the road." You push over a tree and jump out. They'll be too scared to put up a fight and we'll get rich. Why don't we just jump out and stab them? One retorts. Another hooded figure chimes in. Yeah, corpses don't put up a fight either. Frustration rises in the leader's voice. The Empire doesn't care if a few farmers lose some sprouts, but drop a corpse on the royal road and this place will be filled with soldiers before you've even spent the coin. We don't need that trouble. Now quiet, here they come. Soon as you spot a group of farmers coming around the corner, bringing their wares to market. Thieves fell the tree in the path of the unsuspecting farmers and leap out, weapons brandished. Give us all your food. Leap to the farmer's defense. You draw your weapons with practice skill. Got a hair up my nose. Okay. Well, you hear the leader's voice. You lads handle this. I'll meet you when you're done. Thug. Violence for the sake of violence and theft for the sake of money. Thieves attack frequently and can evade standard attacks, making heavy weapons less effective. Okay, break rock, evade, run, finisher, attack, defense. Okay. We all know how the health, or you know how much they're, interesting. The farmers fumble in their haystacks in gratitude. Thank you, adventure. I'm sure they were after they took our food, they would take our lives as well. You fall on the food with a sigh, shoveling bread in your mouth to quench your hunger. Your satisfaction lasts only a moment before you realize your father's amulet is not among the takings. The leader must still have it. You set to your feet, determined to find him. Enjoying a moment beside the fire, you spy a strange figure approaching the camp. It is a goblin dressed in what must pass as goblin finery. Beneath his filthy fox pelts, serving as an ill-filled wig, the goblin winks at you with wild red eyes. Ha! I've been roaming for hours trying to find you. We must get this over with quickly if I have the hope of getting all the people on my list before sunrise. He lowers the sack from his shoulder. Now, from within my sack, I can conjure whatever your heart desires. Goblin's voice trails off as he examines the sack. Well, I could if there wasn't a blooming great big hole in it. His head disappears entirely into the bag till his bulbous nose protrudes from the breach. New plan then. The goblin pulls out his last trinkets. Warrior sacks, sword, shield. I'll go with the soldier's sword. More damage against northerners, coming post. Wise choice, now I must go. There are many others I must visit before I can rest. The goblin runs off into the night, his fox wig flapping in the evening breeze. You can change equipment in your inventory.
This card has a token. Can you find it?
Finding the forest folk. Your journey through the forest is interrupted by an inquisitive child. Are you searching for the forest folk? My uncle says that they used to walk these woods giving out gifts. I want to find one and ask for a lemon cake. They dash off to peer under a nearby log. A child shouts back, remember, if you meet the fairy folk, get me a lemon cake. In the other direction, an eerie song hangs in the air. You attempt to find its origin. Okay. Yay. Follow the song through the thicket and stream until you find an open glade bathed in golden sunlight. You find an aged maiden, her posture bent like the boughs of a forest. It's been 12 winters since I've had a visitor. Her voice is a whisper, yet thunders in your ears. May you visit me when you are in need, adventurer.
This is yours now. Even if you lose the challenge, you have earned this token.
Okay, next one.
Nothing could be more fitting now than meeting the mage who started this all. Or at least, started it all for you.
A trail of fallen trees and distraught farmers lead you to thieves who have stolen your amulet. Seems their infighting has only gotten worse. The bandits surround their former leader, weapons drawn. Everyone will get their fair share. There's no need for violence, the leader implores. You ever heard of thief talk of fair share, spits ones. You turn up and boss us around. We barely stabbed anyone. It's been days since I've stabbed someone. Days. The leader notices you approaching and waves you over. As much as I'd love to continue discussing regarding stabbings, I'm afraid I have urgent business with my associate here. He greets you. He whispers, keep me alive and there'll be plenty of gold for your trouble. I'll tell him his gold cannot replace the amulet, his soul. Holds up a finger. First rule of negotiation. Never let them know what you want. Kill my associates and then gladly return your amulet. Ever reliable, the thieves draw their blades to mug you. The leader hurries away to hide. Give us all your stuff, or we'll stab you, growls one of them. Consider your options, or we'll fight a war of greed. Your Draw your weapon, prepare to deal with the miscreants. Wondered what that was. The battle resolved. The thief leader nods in approval at the carnage before him. He holds out his hand. The name is Malcalypse, Bard Extraordinaire. His smile fades under your withering glare. Sensing your anger, he raises his hands in surrender. Wait, let's not be hasty. We're on the same side. I'm an upstanding citizen just like you. I've been working with thieves, yes, but only for the greater good. No, really, they were killing people before I came along. No, it looks bad, but look, he pulls out an amulet from his pockets and presses it into your hands. All is forgiven, yes? Stare at the amulet. It does not look familiar. Oh, Malcalypse says, scratching his head. He opens a small satchel. So which one is yours? Let's go with the lion. The lion amulet suits you. Very similar facial structure. Say, you know what? I'm lonely, you're lonely, we should work together. You have befriended Malcalypse the trickster. You should probably get to know one another, seeing as we're going to be friends for life, Malcalypse says. Tell me, where are you from? Forest, the city, the woods. Let's go with that. Let's go with this one. And let's go with dark brown. Colors. From a wooded area. Let's go with this one. From the Eastern Belt, huh? Don't say. Good source from the Eastern Belt. Very trusting. Oh, by the way, I mean we, friend, owe money to Vagarus of the Thieves Guild. He's quite angry with us. We should journey to Mire Bridge together to appease him. Some gold might help. Although, come to think of it, I'm rather busy. He eyes a pretty trader hiking up the road. Say, it's best if you get the gold. I'll meet you there.
Smaller pieces of our fates shattered into fragments. Collect enough, and your reward will come in time.
Yeah, that's one of the new bits. Pardon me. Adjusting the cushions going out in the chair. There's a small token there. You have to collect so many of them before it unlocks the token. You enter the competition of strength at a fair. A gold prize is available to the winner. In the first round of the competition, your opponent is diminutive Roland, a halfling from a traveling troupe of acrobats.
These dice are another small game embedded in our game.
Okay, that's good. Ruffin is no match for his strength. He gives a disappointed backflip off the table and collects his meager winnings, then cartwheels out the door. Take your reward from the purse on your way out of the tavern. When you return, you will compete for the next round for a larger prize.
The roads have become even more deadly since the Empire has come to power, despite their promises of the opposite.
The road ahead is blocked by an overturned carriage and a woman calling for help. Please help, she cries. I've been robbed by a band of thugs. Is there anything you can do? Assist the distressed woman. Nope.
The dice are fair, and thus you have lost
Well, thank
this
you.
round.
Now, if you'd be so kind as to give me all your gold. The woman draws a pair of concealed blades from corset. Come on out, boys. Soldier's sword. Every hero must have a heroic sword by their side. This, however, is utterly ordinary. Thugs defeated, you search their bodies for valuables. Sweet.
Victory. You are learning.
Okay. The stream seems to be chugging a little bit. Just give me a second. I'm trying Streamlabs. Seems to be okay now. Find some food amongst the possessions.
Celebrations in aid of what? You see how quickly the actions of the usurper are turned into tales for children.
Nearing the sleepy hamlet of Dulwich, you find villagers in the midst of some kind of celebration. Much of the activity concerns a large pauper and a wood statue depicting a fearsome warrior looming promptly over a prone lizardman. Ask no what's going on. His friendly stable hand explains, in a bygone era, our town was beset by half man, half lizards. There was no food, no respite, and very little hope. Salvation came in the form of a nameless warrior who hunted the beasts for little more than a handful of coins and a crust of bread. He smiles warmly at the facilities. We honor the warrior like this. The statue is filled with food and gold, and we take turns smashing it to bits with the club. You're welcome to join us and keep whatever falls out. Follow the parade. The parade ends at the town square, and you watch villagers take turns smashing the statue, with the club gathering food and gold that spills out. The villager notices your interest and asks if you would like a turn. I will join in. This one? Oh, yes! Bring the club down with a thunderous crack that silences the crowd. As the statue splits open, they erupt in a boisterous roar. Coins and sweets flow freely from the huge cavity you created. You survey the spoils, trying to scoop them up before anyone else can. Go. I would like to gather more. Freaking gold. Coveting gold.
Water is a symbol for the many thoughts that churn beneath the surface. What is it you're thinking of? What concern is worrying at your mind? Let it fall into the waters beneath.
Across an storm bridge, you suddenly find yourself confronted by a villainous band. Stand and fight the fiends or throw yourself to the mercy of the well. For blight, stand and fight. Ready your weapon. Infected. The first touches of corruptions bring forth the darkest elements of their victims. Effective enemies are feeble, causing them to become knocked down when the health is low. Use a finisher before they recover. I'm sure that won't poison or infect anyone. Having spilled your enemy's blood, you search the bodies for anything useful. And for 2, take the shield.
A simple defense. You can do better given time. Here we come to the end of the beginning, running errands for mages. This will become a theme, I dare say.
You arrive at Meyer Bridge as the sun begins to dip below the horizon. Find Malcolm's pursuing a selection of cheeses at the market. Oh, this is my good friendly adventurer. Did you bring some gold? It has arranged to me at the graveyard. Go to the graveyard. You wonder if her spot was chosen for seclusion or easy body disposal. What was that? Oh, hello, Underlord. 99 has followed. Beggarus meets Malcalypse with a sly grin. Looks like you've turned up after all, with lackey in tow. We've had our doubts, you know. Anarchist of greed. Venus cracks his knuckles and giggles. Well now, Malcalypse, convince me. What's to stop me from cutting off your head today? You reveal your gold as Malcalypse scrounges his pockets for some too. The heavy statue of Virtuous lands at Beggarus' feet with a thud that echoes through the silence of the cemetery. I lose 20 gold. That's our deal done, Malcalypse says, worry obviously in his voice. No need for any further troubles. I'm sorry, Mal. Falconus grins. You should have known the guild was never going to let you pay with the cash stolen from members in the first place. Lord of Greed and Anarchist of Greed. Beggarus the Crazed, treacherous and greedy, a dangerous combination. Anarchists throw flaming bombs that cause fire damage. Your armor is no use to you here. Oops. Touch this man and... yeah, they can. Okay. Start defending, that would be good. goes. Malcolm scratches his chin thoughtfully. Seems you could do with someone savvy to help you negotiate these tricky matters of diplomacy, like maybe killing everyone wasn't the best idea. Come, let us discuss our partnership over an ale or two. And I get the trinket. Open.
Well done. You have cleared the first challenge, and now we can move on to the next.
Checking some stuff. Okay, do. Huh. The clockwork every 2 minutes it drops frames. Okay, I'll have to look into it. Cardinal Blade. Bastion of Purification. Market Thief. Tarts, Pies, and Exotic Lies. Fork in the Road. Arm Wrestling. For befriending Macalobs like it. Macalobs' Problem. And the Trickster. For your allegiance to the dealer's table, you receive. Okay. Oh, new skins and stuff. For finding the forest folk, we get the old maiden.
Welcome to my challenges. Together, we will traverse 22 paths of wisdom and
I got
despair
to about the
in the
hermit.
hope of awakening.
I think it's about halfway through the game. I'm recording on a laptop and it just decided to stop working. I got it somewhat fixed, but the file was not retrievable. So, but it looks like since the last time I played this, they updated it a bit. Okay.
Nothing here is coincidence. The answer to every question is in the cards if you but look.
Think about here. Try and remember which ones are out there. I think it was before Justice and the Hangman. I think this area over here on the map is was cleared. I'm trying to think what I was trying to do. It's been a while too. Okay. The Magician, rescue the missing Empire soldiers from a town plagued with corruption. The growing scourge. Prepare to fight corrupted. Avoid Empire. Lose gold for every Empire killed. Okay. Bunch of new ones. Problem, Market Thief, Arm Wrestling, the old main's good for whatever ails you, and Distressed Damsel, and Equipment. Oops. Yes. I believe we were working on the Hermit. Give me just a second, I can actually check. I tend to post videos up on YouTube. So oh, I was less than halfway. I was working on the hero font. I had a personal playthrough that got further and start over for the to stream it. Yeah, there's like 22 missions. So it wasn't halfway, it was more like a fifth. Okay, let's go with Cardinal Blade, Vessel Purification. Oh, we can just take them all. Warrior's Axe, Soldier's Shield. Continue and start.
A casual call to heroism. How many adventures start thus? For 100 years I have thought about nothing but the game. I was defeated. It is true. I became complacent long before then. I thought I knew everything about the game and what it could be. Now you see before you the extent of my research. I have crafted this game anew.
Okay. Your conversation with a fur trader is interrupted as Maclus arrives in a flurry. The whispers speak of trouble at the edge of the Empire. The town of Westwind is suffering against the Blight. Find out more about Westwind. What do you want to know? Ask about the Empire protection. A small garrison is meant to protect the town, but apparently they are either dead, missing, or drunk. What makes Westwind so special? I've traveled far to escape the oppression of the Empire. Westwind gave me my freedom, and I intend to return the favor. Ask where it is. Westwind sits at the outer edge of the Empire. While the Empire focuses on the capital, its nobles and merchants, those on the fringes are neglected. That's enough for now. Let's head to Westwind. You return to the markets and ask traders headed to Westwind. You might need an escort. There are 3 options: stonemason, food mason, or weaponsmith. Can always use more food. Let's go with a food wagon. The food wagon was headed to a nearby wedding offers you a ride. They gift you some food in exchange for not taking you the whole way. Whoops. Go.
The Empire reaches too far. The North has gone from a loose collection of tribes to something to truly fear.
You find some Imperial soldiers strung up by the Northerners. Fight to free them. One-hand weapons are recommended against Northerners, and change equipment in the inventory. Select a sword and wooden shield.
Let us see if the mage can help you here.
Malclips, a magician, jester, and a vagabond. When activated, Malclips casts a protective spell on you that can block a single hit. It has saved me so many times. R for companion.
If nothing else, I'll get a song out of this.
Find 30 attacks from enemies to unlock this token. Okay. Token's gotta be better, right? Find the health potion. With the northern instead, you free the soldiers. Rescue 2 recruits.
Age turns us all. She has done rather better than I in the time that has passed.
Walking through a shadowy forest, you encounter a frail old maiden. She stops to greet you. For centuries I have helped mortals who find themselves lost in my forest. Is there anything I can help you with your journey? Let's go with supplies. This should sustain you for a few days, she mumbles, squinting at you with tired eyes. Yes. Get how long
They
this
place
one-
themselves in these dire positions, and then expect a hero to come rescue them when things become too much.
While patrolling the outskirts of Westwind, you hear a clash of steel and unmistakable groan of corrupted. Your investigation leads you to a distressed nobleman perched on the roof of his carriage. Thank the gods, I was sent to you with the Duke Gilbert when we were ambushed. If I help him, I get 20 gold. My footmen left me here to fight them off, but the brawl has now dispersed into the forest. The noble peers fearfully at the tree line. If you stay here and protect me, I can pay. Go after the soldiers. 2 of steel versus 3 of light. You rush into the forest quickly, encounter a squad of Empire soldiers battling the corrupt. Shield. The skies are darkened by your enemy's volleys. Fight in the shade of a personal wooden bulwark.
By sea and sun, fate and fame!
Mosquito. Where are the mosquitoes coming from? No, I'm sweet, but damn. Cardinal
Like a
blade.
compass, it indicates the truth of all directions.
8 blades. Fires magical blades in 8 directions when activated, causing 20 damage or 40 damage to corrupted. Ooh! Bash distantly to armor, and it can riposte. And you activate the weapon ability 20 times to unlock this shard. Yep. 20 life. The corrupted dispatched, the soldiers turn to you. I sure we could have handled it, but thanks for stepping in. Guess we have to go back to escorting His Highness Sir Quivering Blanket of Misery off to his palace. Get bonus dice for each soldier you saved. I don't have gold, so I'll have to appeal to their sensitivity to defend Westwind. 18. Oh my gosh. Oh, but I got 4 die. 5. Oh, sweet lord. Reroll. Come on, baby. Nope. Lord's Fall and Death hears the soldiers trudge back to their duty, carrying the noble to his estate. No, on the
Commerce
bright
thrives
side,
in even the most unusual of locations.
don't want anything. I normally get the
Here we
market.
begin to see one of the small ways I've changed the game. Each challenge differs both in their rules and their objectives. Even those cards which were once the stairs now vary per challenge, as you will see.
The West Wind Tower bells chime furiously. The town choir bellows. There's corrupted inside the town. They broke through the sewers and into Louse Lane. Brave soldiers have gone down there to sort it out. You have arrived to find West Wend's few remaining soldiers huddled at the entrance of the forest area, Louse Lane. We cannot let the corruption spread for the good of the town. We must dispose of anyone has been tainted even a little. Join the soldiers. Fight against the corrupted. Blade. Prepare for violence in every major direction.
I hope this works!
Sweet. With the corrupted threat removed, you ensure that those soldiers who survive to aid in the town's events. Gain 3 recruits. The soldiers you help scavenge what you can from the remains of the poor souls taken by the corruption. Okay, let's continue. General store. Buy equipment. Bastion of purification against the back. There we go. I'll leave with that. I don't know when I'll need money.
Let us learn what sort you are. Strong? Clever? Wise? The circumstances under which you come here put the lie to that.
You enter competition of strength at a fair. Gold prizes available to the winner. The second round of the competition, you sit opposite the aged fame of Huntley Toothless. He boasts about once being a silencer for the Thieves Guild. Fallen 12. 11. Seriously needed 2 or better. Okay, that works. Huntley crumbles in defeat almost instantly. You're lucky I'm not 20 or 30 years younger, he says grumbling. Take your reward from the pursuer on the way out the tavern. When you return, you'll complete the next round for a larger prize.
They got themselves into this mess. I don't see why you should get them out.
Some Imperial soldiers are strung up by Northerners. Pay to free them. Yes, pay to free them. Northerners reluctantly free their prisoners.
Now your chance presents itself. At last, stand in the defense of the peasantry. What noble traits you display already.
Assist the distressed woman. Okay, that was just bad. Oh, now we have to fight bandits.
I'm somewhat surprised you lost that one.
Why, thank you. Now, if you would be of kindness, give me all your gold. The woman draws a pair of concealed blades from her corset. Come on out, boys. Oh, 6 of greed. This should be interesting.
You have to stop helping people! It always ends up like this!
shell mouth. Whoops. Oh, we're trying to avoid those in the first game. Woo. With the thugs defeated, you search their bodies for valuables. Yeah, passed that one. Find some food.
In my day, thieves kept their distance. None would pickpocket a mage for fear of failure, or worse, success.
The market bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the land calls out to a passerby to sell their wares. As the sun sets down on a crowded street, you pause briefly to draw water from a fountain. You feel something tug on the inside of your tunic. Turning quickly, so you discover a pickpocket making off with some of your belongings. Oh, 3 gold. You jump to your feet and catch a glimpse of fists as they weave through the cloud.
Now you wager for more than mere success and failure. You choose the very stakes themselves.
Fighting proves too much for you, and you make their escape. Okay, maybe next time.
Your companion has his own story to tell. We must wonder if this is a tale of a hero or a villain.
You arrive at the city markets to meet Macalip's associate. You find him sitting on a blanket by the sewer grates. You can't tell whether he's a goblin, a human, or an inanimate pile of greasy rags. A few wilted daisies and duckweed tied to the rope flopped on the ground around him. Merc! Macalip's cries to the creature with arms outstretched. I have a favor to ask you, my handsome friend. The greasy goblin man raises a hand to stop the bard's prattle. 10 golds first, you know that. Give the goblin man 10 gold. Macalip steps forward to Merc as Merc counts the coins. Merc, old bean. The bard looks fervently around quickly before waving at his shoulder. Require help removing a certain illness. Merc considers Macalip's for a while. That kind of information costs more than a few coins. You sputter indignantly. Require a test of skill from him. He turns, points at you. Pick a flower and eat it. The greasy florist displays his meager wares. Macalip nods as if that's a fair request. Let's go with the luminous purple flower. Flower has a crisp burnt texture. Oh, I have to get 15. Oh, sweet. Malka watches as you eagerly begin to choke. Macalip's for his part shows some sign of concern. Your eyes bulge in water suddenly. Everyone begins slapping hard on your back. You cough and a hard lump falls out of your mouth. It's a solid gold statue of Merc. Macalip cheers while you catch your breath. Yeah. Merc nods happily with the results. He beckons Macalip closer. Of those who left us, you should seek Iria of the Vale. She may know something about the cure. Last I heard she's hiding in the underneath.
Let us discover what the next chapter in our dear bard's tale will be.
Oh no, not her. Macalip straightens his neck shawl nervously. The greasy goblin man giggles manically. Yes, her. She'll likely eat your bones before she lets you speak. Now, if you excuse me, I have a business to run. With that, Macalip's associate turns away and hurls a bouquet at a shocked passerby. Flowers, fresh flowers, buy 'em or I'll eat your eyes. Okay. Time to...
Another chance to redeem yourself. Let's see how you handle it this time.
Atop West Wind Town Hall is a large bell tower. It's used to signal the day's end for workers in the mines and surrounding fields, but now it will summon West Wind's defenders. Do you wish to summon the soldiers you have recruited? Ring the bell. As night cloaks West Wind, you can have the sense of corruption rising from the shadows all around you. So you survey any soldiers you manage to recruit. You have gathered a large group of soldiers to defend the town. Here's hoping you won't need any more. Give a rousing speech. Yes! Rassin's speech imbues the soldiers with confidence and zeal. Allied Empire deal more damage. May gods bless you, hero, shouts a farmer listening about the stables. He's quickly bundled back into the inn for safety. Teamwork. Your companion ability cools down, recharges 20% faster. Ooh. Never got that one before. Terror of West Wind. As the final mintages of humanity are erased, the Terror awakes. Use Bash to break the Terror's corrupted armor and defeat it with a finisher before it regenerates.
With all these soldiers, you don't think you could have left them
A mighty creature of chaos felled by your power. Does it satisfy you, this bloodshed? Knowing those you destroy were once simple peasants going about their day.
Once the corrupted behemoth falls, the rest of the minions flee, their spirits broken. The soldiers erupt in cheers, praising your valor. You can rest until morning, ready to greet the reinforcements with the town already saved.
The magician returns to the deck, but now we only begin our stories of fate, folly, and magic. Do not think I'm satisfied with this, but at least we have a place to begin. Now you have learned the simplest of ways to build your deck. Each challenge will provide its own unique trials. Here are some more tools to keep you in good stead.
Okay, for saving the town, we get a ruby ring, Valiant Aegis, Winter's Bane, Van Eating Tree, Gnomish Exchange, The Lost Boy, Culper Plague, West Wind Tavern. For convincing Mark to help Malcolm, we get the Underneath.
As you play, you will find more options open to you. Should you find yourself blocked or overly challenged, take the time to explore the board. Unlocking cards will give you options you have not yet considered.
Okay, go and double check a couple of things. Seriously, every 2 minutes, I'm getting drop frames. Is everything okay on your end? Okay. Let's go with the High
There is
Priestess.
the small game, the game we play, and there is the great game, the game of life and death, the game I was once master of.
Collect blessings in order to enter the ritual house at the summit of Mount Priestess and negotiate a treaty with the Northerners there. Tribute, gain blessing to increase your chance of success. Northern honor, do not expect to be welcomed by the Northerners while treading on their land. Survive Mount Priestess by restoring life at camp. Okay. Campfire. Okay. The old maiden. Need her. Let's go with arm wrestling. Lost boy. I always want to add a couple new ones who, if we come across them, will unlock what they do. Going to need blessings. Let's go with West Wind Tavern. And one more. Fork in the Road, I think, is reveals. Adding tree. Gives you increased life or exchanging equipment. And, let's go with Gnomish Exchange. Continue. I can have 5 pieces of equipment. Okay, Ruby Ring, I don't know what that one. Agus, Shield, and Winter's Bane might be good. And Cardinal's Blade. Let's see, that's Corruption. Soldier's Sword. It's just a generic one. Continue. Start.
You find yourself once again in the company of prayer and religion. How unfortunate. Now it begins. Negotiations on behalf of the Empire. We will see how that story ends.
Apocalypse has somehow roped you into traveling deep into the far north on a diplomatic mission. While I usually refrain from working for the Empire, since this one takes me further away from it, I've made an exception. It'll square my debt with General Bradstone and help open many doors for you. What do you say? Ask how you can help. You know, I have a great many skills, but swordsmanship is unlikely to hold up against Northern raiders. I know no one else can be more up to the test. Ask about the leader of the raiders. There are many clans dotted around, but the supposed leader of them all is the High Priestess who lives up there. Apocalypse points to the top of the soaring mountain before you. Ask him more about his mission. General Bradstone instructed me not to come back until I talked to the High Priestess of the North and offered terms of a treaty, he explains. Join Apocalypse and begin your quest. Excellent. Bring your sword and let me do the talking, says Apocalypse. I've brought plenty of supplies so we can set up camp when we get hungry. Oh, that's a lot of food. Apocalypse shares a tidbit of as you commence your journey. The High Priestess is quite partial to blessings. If you can prove yourself worthy, you have a better chance of swaying her in our favor. Collect 6 blessings before meeting the High Priestess and access the campfire. Okay, grit your teeth and give me your ascent.
Be careful where one takes refuge, even in the worst of storms.
Ouch. With low warning, a snowstorm sweeps through the north. Your snow whips around you as shards of glass obscure your vision. You struggle to find cover. Yay! Climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave, desperately to fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance and discover the dark clouds have passed. Now, Eclipse Fortress 4 hours would say this log is dry enough. We can set up here for the night. camp?
Campfires will always offer warmth and heat, but they also change with each challenge. Be prepared.
I come in peace, he says. Make the pilgrimage to the High Priestess, I mean you no harm. That one waiting for your approval slumps down beside you and won't stand by the fire. In my youth, I once fancied a northern warrior. She almost cut off my head when I serenaded her. Malcolm's plucks up a mournful note on salute. Young love, hey. Okay. Let's see whether there's equipment. Do not have enough for that. And break camp. Sleep through the long cold night. In the morning you pack your things and continue up the mountain. Gold mean. I'm gonna need gold. No, Mount Gold can satisfy gold.
Not every temple has crumbled into the dust. More's the pity.
Temple of the Divine Protection provides blessing in exchange for a simple gold donation. Make a donation. What do I want? Okay. After every dice. 5 life for every gold card you receive. Max life is less than 50. Gain up to 20 gold. Gain up a new map if you have less than 20 gold. If die, reduce the spinning wheel of the wheel gambit. Which gambit do we use to go between? I think it's the shuffling one. Let's go with Gambler's. Okay.
In the cold, men become desperate. Women hold these mountains together, even through the worst. The mountain itself pushes you back.
Arm wrestling. You enter competition of strength at the fair. Gold prize is awarded to the winner. Your opponent for this third time is Perle, the brass hag. She trots herself as a fearless pirate, but needs money from this competition to get herself a boat. This will have to be a 5 or 6. Oh, got it. Brass Hag cannot live up to the strength of her name and slumps in defeat. You gain 2 fame. I will not need to worry about money. Take your reward from your pursuer all the way to the tavern. When you return, you complete for a larger prize. Camp. Trade. Buy equipment. Still can't buy that.
Will you push on, despite nature itself attempting to thwart you?
Sudden blizzard slows your ascent progress up the mountain. Bitter winds pierce your skin when shards of glass ascend.
Witches I will tolerate. They have at least stepped into the streams of power that magicians call home.
I come in search of a high priestess to deliver an important message, Smuggler's. You better go bearing blessings if you want to get on the high priestess' good side. I'm fixing a batch right now if you'd like a taste. I've got it right this time. You can take it to her, she says, stirring the cauldron. Malcolm politely declines. I've been watching what I eat, but my companion here has an insatiable appetite, he says, nudging you forward. Guardian Angel. Occasion. Optionally retry any chance card gambit. Oh, that is going to help a lot. You take a sip from an aromatic potion and feel warm and fuzzy feeling flowing through your body. Looks like my recipe is a success. I'm sure the High Priestess will appreciate this one. You thank the old lady and continue up the mountain, praying no heed to the brewing blizzard.
Children. It's hard to conceive that either of us were ever such.
He's just a small child, you overhear. A deep voice growls. We have to take him to the dungeons or else he'll run straight to the northern clan he spawned from and show him where our outpost is. That's a shifty-looking kid. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, says Malcolms. Consider the boy's fate. Oh, save the boy. Then sheath your weapon, demanding to let the boy go. The Empire soldiers are unmoved by your threat. Yeah, I have no equipment. This might be relatively quick. Watchmen. Taken from the dregs of society, elevated to petty positions of power, watchmen can block, greatly reducing incoming damage. Use bash to open them up for damage.
Continue. Once again, good intentions and I will keep trying to hit me.
There we go. Kinda like him block to do a stun now. Blocks. I will choose... I'm going to be doing a lot of blocking, so I'll choose the shield. Check on the unconscious guard. You notice the boy looking at you early as if seizing you up. Okay. 13, I'll reroll these two. Boy disappears into the forest, and soon you hear howl from a short distance. The raiders come out of hiding. The boy shouts, "Their outpost is that away. Stop the raiders' attack on the outpost." The raiders stand in the way, forbidding you to pass. Fun, 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 fun. Raider. From the frozen darkness of the far north they come. Northerners can perform combo attacks. Use repose with single-handed weapons. Deal extra damage immediately after you defend.
Don't let them hit me! I'm too handsome for violence.
Sound of clashing swords draws out the guards from their outpost. After apprehending the northern raiders, the camp outpost hands you a reward. King 2 fame. Winter's Bane. Yes. I think I have to get the boy to like me for that one.
A lesson in caution awaits us all. Nature, truly wild nature, will not tolerate fury in its domain, unless it is its own.
High on the mountain, you see a silhouette of a man approaching through the weary snow. He bellows through the wind. Who trespasses on the sacred grounds of our priestess? Hidden raiders spring down the mountain with the dexterity of mountain goats. Trapper. On the frozen plains, prey are few and far between. The keen eyes of a trapper see all. Trappers throw hunting traps to snare the targets. Use evade to avoid the traps, or change direction rapidly to break free.
Who dares venture? None less than the amazing Priestess and assistant.
I have little trust in artifacts that breathe,
Sworn
myself.
weapon charge. Third step does not consume food. Used to defend. Used defend to reflect. But it's got one defense. No, I do not want that. We got plenty of food. Ash still rings out the echoes throughout the peaks. Mountains answered with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes towards the melee, sweeping everything out of its path.
Dice are a constant reminder of death. The singular is die, as I'm sure you know, and they are often called bones for the material from which they were crafted. Here, however, they may also bring a touch of life.
I still like the dealer in this. Seek shelter against the bluff, pressing close to the rock face as the avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. Your assailant's weapon jets out from the snow. As you near, you realize it's still clenched in his hand, the body buried beneath the snow. Dig him out. As you brave the cold and free the raider from the icy grave, he takes a moment to catch his breath and says, "You saved me, though we are enemies by blood. Take my blessing and leave me to my thoughts." Long shot. Score exact target on dice gamuts. Draw 3 equipments card, then discard this card. Any number of blessings can be equipped at one time. Transfer blessings or discard insert. Oh, I do not want that one to go away. I need it. And a blizzard. Ouch. Ouch. Find cover. Let's see if we can go with a bear. Yes, I want to continue. Climb is unbearable, you seek shelter in the cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howlings ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance and discover dark clouds have passed.
I am torn between my loathing for gnomes and my despair that the world is becoming less strange and arcane as the Empire spreads.
You trespass on Noman's grounds, humans, a voice calls out as a dozen small creatures leap from the trees around you. The penalty for this transgression is death. Make peace with your gods. Okay. Gnomes fiercely territorial, trespass in gnomeless lands and face consequences. Pesky, resistant, and impossible to hit. Gnomes cause snare, evade, and avoid to struggle free. Gnomes can only be deterred with a finisher. Sorry for them. The gnomes pick themselves up from the battlefield and approach you cautiously. Alright, the penalty for this transgression is no longer death. We'd like to parley. We seek arms to defend ourselves, a gnome declares loudly. Hand over some equipment and we'll release you. Can even pay you something? I'll give you food for a helmet, says the small folk, exclaims. I'll share secrets of this land for a ring, another chimes in. Give me a weapon that I can yield, and one for my brother, and we've got gold, a toothless gnome cries out. The gnomes all loudly shout their officers, trying to drown out each other. Rewards depend on the type of equipment. Give them something. Let's give... I guess I am not using it. Do you wish to trade away these items? Yes. Surrender the equipment to the gnomes, satisfied they for payment in return. Ooh! Ooh! Gnomes retreat to the forest with their prize and soon begin fighting over it. I'm entirely sure what to do.
A grand opportunity for you to take whatever pleases you and go about your day.
Let's go with Monk's Vitality.
The mountain is unforgiving. You would not be the first to die upon its peak. Old witches. I have a fondness for them, but I would not trust them.
Further up the mountain, the blizzard becomes so intense you barely see the tiny cottage engulfed in snow. An old lady beckons you in. I've received word from my sister's hawk that I've been expecting you. I may not be as skilled as her, but this blessing potion I've whipped up will do my best. It's my best. Do you think it's good enough for the High Priestess? She says, blowing steam off the simmering liquid. I really couldn't, says Myclops, patting his belly. Redraw. This heroic sacrifice. Prior to combat with 2 or more cards, optionally discard a basic monster card, release your companion for 3 turns. Take a sip of the aromatic potion to feel warm and fuzzy throughout your body. Looks like my recipe for a success. I'm sure the High Priestess will appreciate this one. You thank the old lady and continue up the mountain, paying no heed to the brewing blizzard. Find cover. Continue. Well, as you don't know, it's not randomized. They actually go in front and behind each other. You have to pay attention. Just really, really hard.
Mages are hard to eradicate at the best of times. We have our ways of hiding from the light.
You follow Myclops' cryptic directions, many of which involve borrowing farm animals. You arrive at the edge of a vast and lonely lake. There you encounter a cave entrance blocked by a stone door. You must seek out Ira Vale in the underneath, the bard had explained. You followed the frightened cow around the previous night. Malcolm drops his wine bottle nervously and forces a loud, hearty laugh, completely ignoring your question. The bespectacled orc manning the door in the underneath doesn't look up from his book as you approach. 15 food items per entry, grunts. Malcolm scoffs, robbery. If you're trying to hustle us, sir, I'll have you know I can shoot lightning from my fingertips. The door keeps eyes. Times are hard for us, Mal. You'll see when you get in there. I can easily afford that. Lord places his book down and a mighty push doors roll open. A narrow tunnel takes you deep below the earth, opening into a vast limestone cavern. Twinkling on the edge of an underground lake lies a small shanty town. Red lanterns lining the quiet streets. Welcome to the Underneath, coin slave. Since the bothersome Empire edict, we've had to hide away in places like this. You speak quite the hub of activity, but now he surveys the silent streets grimly. The Empire has been increasing its forces. A few mages eye you suspiciously as they pass by. Enter Ear's Tavern. Browse the stores, ailments, curses, and blessings. Hello. Follow the street sign through a lone street until they head to a sizable hall of colored rags. You believe this where a market once stood. The woman curses the pile. Blessings or curses? You don't need either of them. I'll trade you all of them for a shiny rock. The opposite looks like a polished river. No! Well, I'll be here. Slinks back to the pile of rags when she came. Payments, oddities. I'm not allowed in there after I stole some stupid pebbles. You should go on ahead. With the jungle, you enter a dusty store. You find it filled with shelves, baskets, glass cases, with rocks in various shapes and sizes. The wizened shopkeeper, Leelot, looks over the counter at you. Inquire about the stones. Lights up with suggestion. He waves a wrinkled hand and his wares. You see baskets of giant boulders, smooth pebbles, tucked away in the corner, a basket of rings. Shop. What would you like to buy? Everything is 20 gold apiece. Buy a stone that Leelot recommends for 20 gold. Redraw. This is one of my favorite. Bread, blood if you wish to take control. The man picks up your elbow with a shard of green glass and lets the blood drip into a vial. Satisfied he's collected enough of the most vial. Then lead-headed, you pick the ring from the basket. Ruby ring.
Valuable for purely financial reasons, if nothing else.
Why you have more blessings than curses. Equip. About something else, spot directions. About something else. Turn to the town center. Enter the Temple of your sounds. The Temple's ears is my home away from home. Pulls out a flute and leaves to serenade a petty bartender who tries her best to ignore him. Choose one table. Fleshy eye. I will leave. I don't know what's going on there. And find the contact. Apocalypse leads away through the dim, lonely streets to Ira's house. You hear screaming coming from within. Woman in robes adorned with silver ornaments greets you at the door. Merc said you would be begging for help, regardless you're late. Apocalypse bows with a grin. I have an illness I was hoping you could cure. Another vow found spit for nodding and letting you into her house. In her scene room, the source of the wailing is made clear. A man is locked in a cage, crying in fevered agony. Sores of corruption fester on his body. Without warning, she opens up the cage and the man rushes at you. But with surprising strength, Iria seduced the man, breathing in the creature. This is the mage, Kohen. He thought he could fight off the corruption, but he could not. Iria watches Maclopes carefully as Goran's eyes grow more and more guttural. Oh, cries, not eyes. What should I do with him? The bard looks away, disgust and fear on his face. He appears close to passing out. What would you do? Kill the mage. Ara holds him down and ends the mage's life. Not dealt with, she begins tinkering with the tables strewn with dead and shiny things. I do have a cure, but you know nothing comes for free for our kind. She taps the silver destined bottle. Save the stolen mage children for me. I'll give you the
Still,
cure.
what secrets does your companion hide from you?
Those Empire bastards have taken them to some walled fort in the docks of the city. You better hurry. The illness can't be held much longer, I wager. Bard avoids her gaze. Ask what the illness is, she laughs. He hasn't told you? It's not my place to say, but you know this friend of Malcolm's. If he doesn't find a course soon, you are in grave danger. Nonsense, Malcolm stands, unbottling a war. You better hurry. Ask how she knows him. He was my lover when I was young and stupid, she says as matter-of-factly. Nonsense. You're alluring at all ages. You'd be glad to have me still. Ira gives Malcolm a severe look. He walks, cowering away in his seat. Leave the house. Now leave. Now, Bard turns around and catches glimpse of hope in his eyes. She avoids his gaze. Take the children to the madman near the Frost Ford. They run the orphanage. I fear it's no longer safe here.
Now the confrontation.
Turn back.
Are you ready to face the priestess of her people and drive the deal the Empire has requested? Or will you turn and flee?
Well, I'm returning. Westwind's only tavern, the Rusty Razor, is a safe harbor among the many dangerous reaches of the Empire. Its barkeep sits outside the establishment with a look for sign defeat. Upon your arrival, he jolts straighten up. His smile almost breaks across his face. At least someone in the guild is here. This Empire soldier's spawn must ruin me. Before you can disagree with the owner, he swings the saloon doors before you shoot inside. Inside, you discover a handful of Empire soldiers enjoying ale rather than doing their duty. The freshly invigorated barkeep hops onto the table and shouts above all the noise. You lazy, drunken deserters are done. The Stewards Guild has sent an enforcer here, and you're all going to have to go back to your post. This town needs defending. One of the soldiers rises with slight sway. We've got 3 days until the end. Our shift ends, and we can return to civilization. So we're not doing any fighting unless they threaten this supply of ale, right, lads? The raucous cheer erupts, and the beer tank is smashed together all around. So why don't you take your shiny lion badge and shove off? The barkeep threatens you. What are you going to do? Threaten. Suggest with mouth that the soldiers should report to duty, or they report to the healer. No, redraw. Up. Continue. This is going to be fun. Expansion of the Empire requires a constant conscription of new blood. Soldiers block all attacks, greatly reducing their damage. Use Bastion to open them up.
Just once. Quiet.
My pretty. Yeah, they might not need a healer now. Stupid bugs. Where are they coming from? Discard this card, gain 5 max life. Discard. Continue. I'll gain it because I'll use them for camper before I get up. So Soldiers fall yet again to another load your weapon. The leader shouts, "Alright, stop. Do our part to stop cracking our skulls."
Nicely done. With the least of notice, the very lands beneath your feet can slide away. Life is filled with surprises.
Filled with rage, determined to destroy, Berserker's weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movements and attacks.
Who dares venture? None less than the amazing Malekith and assistant.
Okay, continue. Flesh still rings out. Oh no, avalanche! Yay. Seek shelter against the bluff. Just close to the rock face. Take him out. Take my blessing. Let's return. Useless now. Is that card? Blizzard, of course it is. Clear, the dark clouds to reveal the spire of Ritual House protruding from the summit. Press through the thick snow to find a wooden structure adorned with the spoils of war. Enter. As you enter the great hall, the towering arch doors swing open with a heavy creak. The giantess in velvet robes enter accompanied by raiders. Apocalypse bows low to the ground. My companion and I have been sent north to discuss a truce between the Empire and the Northerners, my lady. So they send me Silver-Tongued Devil and his mercenaries, she smirks. I hope you, at your sake, you have a decent offering. Kneel before the High Priestess. Your offering will suffice, but if you seek to make a deal on my behalf of the Empire, you need to prove yourself against my champion. The raiders charge towards you. No, I will continue. Fierce, loyal, and relentless champion of the High Priestess. Berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movements and attacks.
Why do you always end up enraging the locals? Should they mean something?
Done. Now hear my terms. High Priestess draws herself up, a towering figure draped in fur and wrath. The North will never bend to the Empire. Blood for blood for blood. Those are my terms, small one. Let your leaders hear it and quake. With that, you make your quick descent to relay the message back to General Bradstorm. Okay. And for besting the High Priestess champion, we get the Hummel Hammer, the Berserker's Creed, the Extinguisher, Winter Solstice, Running Building, Temple Prayers, and the Cartographer. My supplies have been added to food, Warrior's Axe, Soldier's Sword. Gaining favor with the High Priestess, we gain Dark Groove Ring and a Shrine.